Hello, good morning. This is ANNKIO Briggs, and you're tuned to 89.9 FM, Radio Garden City Radio. This is our station, your station, my station, the station where we tell ourselves the truth, where we address issues that concerns the Niger Delta, River State, and of course Nigeria and the world. Today we're actually at this period we are hooked into the world system on a moment-to-moment basis. Coronavirus, COVID-19, and all the lies and deceits and reality that comes with it. Unfortunately, the truth seems to come outside of Nigeria mainly, and also from very few states, or rather from a particular region in Nigeria. Today is the 6th of May, 2020. The first thing I would want us to address is something that concerns us very drastically. It has to do with the dead fish. It's an environmental issue. The dead fish that have been floating in our rivers, in our states, from Delta states to Bayelsa states to River State. And I believe very strongly that we are most affected, Bayelsa State and River State. I think River State is even paramountly more affected. Unfortunately, our people don't realize how disastrous this issue of the fish, the dead fish floating around in our waters. We don't understand, and therefore the reaction of our people, of riverine people, is horrific. It is horrific because as a little girl growing up, and if you are from the waterine area, and if you've grown up eating fish and isam and ngolongbe and all those wonderful things that we used to eat before the oil companies destroyed everything, along with their joint partners in exploring for oil and gas in our waters, has been that there is no riverine person that will eat dead fish that is floating. You wake up in the morning, you go to the river and you see dead fish and you eat it. It's like finding a dead fowl and plucking the feathers and cooking it to eat. It's not done. So I am horrified that our people, when they see dolphin, when they see shark, when they see whale, birch on the beach, that the first thing they do is start hacking the dead whale, the dead fish, the dead dolphin, and cooking them and eating. If something is dead and you didn't catch it, and you wake up and you go to the beach, you see a whale, you see fish, lots of fish floating, and you didn't kill it, and the fisherman did not catch them, how do you eat them? Do you know what killed them? So everything is not about government. Yes, government has to have an involvement. I blame the devastation of our environment, our waters, our isam, our ngolo. We want to know what is killing them. Why the Shell and Mobil and all the other oil companies, along with the federal government of Nigeria, along with the Ministry of Environment at the federal level, will continue to allow these things to happen, just so that the people in the Niger Delta, that in whose backyard this oil is explored will die. Is a way of making sure that our people come in contact with death one way or the other. So where government will come in, where the state governments will come in, is to fight for our rights. First of all, to ask the federal government, the Ministry of Environment, federal government, to make sure that these things don't happen. And if they are not going to be able to do that, then they cannot continue to come and explore for our oil and our gas. We cannot continue to accept, we should not. There must be a time where we have to say enough is enough. That they've been doing it for years does not justify why they should continue to do it now. So most of the responsibility of reaction to stop it comes from us. It is our responsibility. We have to react as a people. Our lawmakers, the people, whoever is responsible for representing Bonny local government area, for representing the communities where these fish are washing ashore dead, whoever is responsible, the local government chairman, the House of Assembly member, the state House of Assembly member, the House of Representative at Abuja, the senator at Abuja, the Commissioner for Environment in Rivers State, and the governor in Rivers State. This is their responsibility. And it is their responsibility to the extent that they have to find an answer. We are asking, why will this fish wash ashore? And why is it that our people do not know that they cannot eat this fish that is washed ashore? And if they don't know, it is the responsibility of government to give the information to the people who are eating this fish. If they are not sensible enough to know, if they are too ignorant to know that you cannot eat dead fish that has washed ashore, then it is the responsibility of government to hammer it into their heads, into our head. Me, I know, so I will not eat it. I'm talking about the people that don't know. And I'm also talking about the people that know and are silent. And this is why this type of thing, this has to be tied into what is happening today all over the world in the name of coronavirus, COVID-19. What is happening all over the world? If you look at the videos, the information that is all over the world, from America to the United Kingdom to Italy to Wuhan, wherever this place is in China, where it started from. If you watch what is being done there and how the sick people are, and you look at the videos that are coming in from Kano, from all over the place, where they are claiming that the people they have in isolation centers are people who have COVID-19. That is a lie. Those youths that they have in those places that they call that they call isolation centers or hospitals, my friend, those people don't look like they have COVID-19. If you look at how sick people are on the videos that is all over the world, and how people who are even recovering from it are talking, and you compare it to these able-bodied men and women that they have thrown into these places and feeding them with takeaway and keeping them there to tell them to be shouting that they have COVID-19. Please, federal government, for once, this is about life and death. Stop lying. The states that are showing these people why is it that we cannot see a picture from a hospital, you don't have to show the faces of the people. Why is it that we're not seeing where the doctors are kitted up with PPE? Everybody shouting PPE, PPE. Who are the people wearing the PPE? All the people from Dangote them that claim to have donated money to federal government, the EU, all these donations that they have given, the one that the Chinese billionaire Mr. Ma sent about almost 4 weeks ago now, that he sent, where are they using these things in Nigeria? And where is the share of River State of these things? Where is the share of these PPEs, of these masks that they have sent? If these masks are in Nigeria, you will see people wearing these masks if they've distributed them fairly and squarely. This is how they will keep these things, the way they kept the rotten rice that they are distributing. How can you, the rice that River State government is told to come and to go and collect from Cross River, my people, that set of rice, bags of rice, has been in the Tinapa bonded warehouses in Cross River State for over 3 or 4 years. They have been there, and that's the rice that the governor of River State is told to go and collect for the people of River State. I don't include myself in it because I am not going to collect palliative, because as I said, I don't need palliative. What we need is for the palliative to go to our people who ordinarily are not able to afford it. And these people are people that already they were disadvantaged in terms of whether they were eating once a day or whether they were eating twice a day or 3 times a day in River State. Those are the people that these things are meant for. And I'm also getting, sitting down here and getting news that the amount of food that has gone to each local government is better than what any other person, any other state have done so far as a state for itself, not coming in as charity into the state. Therefore, if our people are getting only a cup of rice in local government, I think I want to draw the attention of the River State governor. Then it means that he has to look into it, because very clearly you don't have to like him. You don't have to like him. But if he has sent thousands and thousands of bags of rice, of gari, of beans, of oil, of whatever to your community, to your local government area, you cannot accuse him of not doing so. If he has done so, you don't expect that he will come and share it. 2 weeks ago, before the local government distribution started, in my broadcast on Wednesday, 2 or so Wednesdays ago, it was an issue that I categorically said that I believe the governor ought to send these things to be distributed by local government, because we don't have the structure that the Western world is using, the structure they're using in America, the structure they're using in the United Kingdom. We don't have it. We don't have those structure. But we can very quickly develop those structure. In Abonima, for instance, I will always refer back to where I come from, because that is where I can authoritatively speak, and then it can be compared to other places. Where I come from, for instance, if you're from Abonima and you enter Abonima from Owusara, you will know which house is the house of of Bob Manuel. You will know which house is George Will, of Jack, of Briggs, and the other houses within those compounds of Douglas, of of Black Duke, of so many. If I don't mention, please, oh my people, Omninganima, it's just because I cannot mention everyone. But I'm just saying that we in Abonima, we know ourselves and we know who is who. And then we have compound chiefs. And then we have churches. So it is easy to build up this structure immediately. And when COVID-19 is over, and COVID-19 will be over, because COVID-19 is a devilish thing that was brought on by evil leaders across from where it originated from. It has to do with the struggle for power, for economic power, for control of Africa and the resources, and the squabbling between the developed countries. It has to do with a country called China that wants to do everything to become a superpower above America. And we have just become the victims, but they want to make us the victims. But what they intend for evil, God will turn it around for good. The reason is this. There is no answer to COVID-19 until human beings find an answer to COVID-19. Before that, the only answer, and after that, the only answer is the living God. So you pray that it doesn't come near you and you don't go near it. But as of now, as we're talking, there is no answer to it. And so if there is no answer to it, we have to have people who are intelligent to think through what is happening, to look at the information that is available and make our decisions based on those information. Okay, for instance, we've been talking about how we will have a restructured Nigeria. A particular people have turned it down and say it can never happen. And then we that should benefit from a restructured Nigeria are agreeing with them. Some of us, I'm not one of those people, have agreed with them that, if we restructure Nigeria, that the governors of River State, this one, the governor of Delta, they will steal the money. That is the excuse. So now, because of what you think may happen, you are not prepared to make sure that it doesn't happen and that you do not continue in the rut that we are in today. And then we have politicians who are supporting strangers. Strangers, I've always used that name. If you are not from my place and I find you in my place, I cannot call you my brother. You're not my brother, you're a stranger. Brotherhood develops when there is affection, when there is care, when there is love. That is when brotherhood develops. If I find you in my place and your intention is sinister and your intention is not good and it doesn't do me any good, you're a stranger and you're not a good person. And anybody that is related to me, either by blood or by association or by coming from the same region or coming from the same state or coming from the same local government or community with me, that comes into my community, my state, to do things that would devastate the state and my community, just because you are from River State, will not make me to accept that you have a right to bring danger to River State. I keep highlighting this instance. The shootout, the killing that happened in Abonima during the presidential election was brought in by strangers, but accommodated by some Abonima indigenes, broad daylight. Abonima people know what I'm talking about because of politics. So strangers came in and did this thing. They are doing the same thing in River State, in all the local government areas. They are doing the same thing in Niger Delta, in all the 6 Niger Delta states, and in the other 3 oil-producing states. they are doing that. Why are they doing that? They're doing that because of the resources. Therefore, we go back to COVID-19 today. Now, for instance, if we are not able to feed our people, the ones that are vulnerable, and we cannot feed all of them, depending on how long this thing lasts, and depending on how prepared we are to accept the lies and the deceit that is being given to us. You are hearing that the federal government says there is shutdown between states, and yet every day now we are seeing truckloads of youths coming in from outside our states. If you're from Delta State, if you're from Bayelsa State, if you're from Rivers State, coming into our states, going into even the Southwest, even the Southeast. Where are they going? If there is danger, you now leave your states. So many people are stuck outside their states, all over the world, out of their country, all over the world. If you can't move, you can't move. So now, when they say there is a lockdown, the federal government accepts that there is a lockdown. And then how are these people coming, leaving Kaduna, leaving Kano, and coming all the way to Delta State? How many states did they have to go through to get here? And in the meantime, you can now see how it has been possible for people to invade our states for the past 5 or 6 years. It is done during the night when all of us are sleeping. We are sleeping, people are sleeping, and the enemy is moving in when we're sleeping, and have been doing so. Now, COVID-19 has exposed a lot of things. And COVID-19, we must learn from COVID-19. And what are those lessons that we're going to learn from COVID-19? Those lessons very clearly is that we can and must restructure within ourselves and our states and our region. So all the Niger Delta states, the 6 of them, whether they like it or they don't like it, they must work together. They, amongst themselves, they must work together. Amongst themselves, they must come together and work as a unit, as a region, because we are already a region. We are called the South-South geopolitical zone. So they must work together. They must work in security and in food production and in development for themselves, with themselves. It is possible. So let nobody ever say that nothing is possible, that will do things in our interest. It is possible to work in our interest. So if we say that it is painful to shut down the states, yes, it is painful to shut down the states. But which one do you think will be more painful? If they open the states and people are just coming and going as they like. This is how Governor Wike said, these oil workers, who are they? I want to know and I want to test them. They say, oh, he has no rights. He's fighting federal government. At the end of the day, he has been vindicated. An oil worker is carrying COVID-19. Now, if he was not tested, how would we have known? That is one. Now, if the shutdown is in places like if Obiakpo is shut down for today, and Woji, Abloma, GRA, but you know what I mean, is not shut down. It means very clearly that the transmission, the exposure of transmission to transmission for that period within the Obiakpo area is limited. You don't have to be a degree holder to understand that. That if they say this area don't go out and people should not come in, it means anybody who has it that wants to come in for that day cannot come in. And therefore, the chance of transmitting it to somebody else who does not have it is limited. What is so difficult for them to understand? If one section of Port Harcourt is shut down and another section is open, it means that the people in the section that is open can go about, can go to the market, because the market in that area will be open, can go to the supermarket, can go to the drugstore, because the places there that are essential things. What are essential things today? It's not to go and collect your cloth from tailor. But if the tailor is open, you go and collect your cloth, because tailor too has to eat. But the most essential thing is food and how to get drugs. Those are the most essential things. So if in Borokri they are open, you go and get your drugs if you need drugs. You go to the market if you have money to buy. Now, some people will say, hey, what of people who don't have money to buy? Yes, these are the people that this aid, this help is meant for. If you can buy food, this thing is not meant for you. Now, if you were unemployed, sadly, before COVID-19, if you were unemployed before COVID-19, then the chances are you're still unemployed now. If you were employed and you're not essential worker, it means that today you are unemployed, so there is no income coming. Now, those are the people, in any sensible way that you want to look at it, the people that don't have income coming are the people that this tuber of yam and bags of garri is meant for. Now, if it is not meant for a commissioner, it is not meant for a PA to governor, it is not meant for a local government chairman PA, because the local government chairman PA is already employed by the local government. And so the local government should continue to pay salaries, even if not everything, because already the price of oil is down. And this government, this federal government, is collecting money here, begging money here, they're taking money here. This is the Abacha that they said is not a thief. Today now, the amount of billions that is coming in the name of Abacha is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And yet this is somebody that is not a thief. And yet people like Orubebe were castigated. And at the end of the day, the case against Orubebe was thrown away. That there was nothing to prove that all the allegations that they put against him is true. You can see the type of Nigeria that we live in. So, if the governor of any state says this is the way to do it, our people, it is only somebody who is alive that can complain. It is only somebody who is alive that can be hungry. During the Civil War, I was there during the Civil War. When we hear the sound of plane, you don't wait to ask, should I run? Should I hide? You went and hid. Is it good? No. During the war, I saw somebody running from when the aeroplanes came, the jet fighters came, and they were shooting. I saw somebody ahead of me. The shrapnel cut into him. He was still running, but his hand had fallen off. He was still running. This is something I saw with my two eyes in 1968. So, the point, therefore, I'm trying to make is that, yes, there is hunger, there is hardship, but what COVID-19, the threat that COVID-19 poses today, all over the world. You can't see it. You can't hear it. It doesn't care whether you're poor, whether you're rich, whether you're old, whether you're ugly, whether you're beautiful, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman. It does not care. When it comes in contact with you, God forbid, when it comes in contact with it, it will hold on to it. So we have to be sensible first. We have to sit down. And is it really, I mean, are we really saying that any governor will sit down at this period and say, hey, I've been wanting to punish my people in my state. Okay, now I will punish them. I will shut down the state. The most secure state right now, by actions and by sheer grit, is Rivers State. If anybody else tells you different, it is a lie. It is a lie. Put politics aside. What's his name? Dangote. Dangote is building what he claims and what his partners in politics are claiming, that it is the largest refinery in Africa, maybe even in the world. And what he intends to refine is coming from the Niger Delta. Where is he going to buy it? Is he going to buy it from Venezuela and ship it to Nigeria? He's not. The oil he wants to refine is in Rivers State. And he wants to refine it in Lagos. So all the work that will generate is going to Lagos State. And the people on whose land he's going to take it are being polluted by both the government and the oil companies. Did we know before COVID-19? Did anybody know? Maybe they did. But because of because of their own personal infrastructure that they must protect, they kept silent. That Dangote brought in hundreds, if not thousands, of laborers from India to come and work in where he is building refinery. The raw material, what is there in the building of the refinery? What is he using? It's steel. It's steel. And plastic, maybe. The steel and plastic. We have steel in Nigeria. We have plastic. It's derived from petroleum. It's derived from crude oil. And so he brings in foreigners. That is not the amount of foreigners he brought in. No sane country, except the other foolish African countries that have allowed Chinese people to come in the way and manner in which they have come in so far. No sane country will give you expatriate quota to bring in laborers to their country to work. If it wasn't that those Indians were crying at the maltreatment of Dangote's company at this time, where they are now calling for their government to come and take them away, would we have known? At least in Niger Delta, we will not. Me, I didn't know, because if I knew, I would talk. We didn't know. And yet, that is Niger Delta person who has a factory. Bring in that number of foreigners to come and open a factory. Can any governor bring in that number of people to come and create jobs in Rivers State, in Delta State, in Bayelsa State, without the federal government and even our own people that are bootlicking will be the ones that will turn on these governors and say, you're breaking the law. The law does not permit it. Section 00 nonsense does not permit it. That is what even Rivers people will say. Not to talk of the rest of the Niger Delta people. So I need law now to permit me to say that I want to stay alive. There can be no such law. The human rights is spelled out. That we allow any government to abuse our human rights is our choice. It's our choice. The work I'm doing is my choice. Is anybody paying me for it? No. No. If you're paying me for it, come out. Come and say it. So, it is a choice. Everything. Anybody can be good. Anybody can be evil. You make the choice to be good or to be bad. All the people that have been shouting since 2015 against Goodluck Jonathan, against Niger Delta, against River State, within the River State themselves that have been talking and saying, oh, Wike is doing this, Wike is not doing this. All those people now, what are they doing? Like me, what are they doing? What are they doing for the people of River State? What are they doing for the people of their state? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And yet, they tell us that they are in opposition. They name the things that Wike is not doing right. Okay, you now, there is opportunity to do something for River State. Nobody will stop you. Apart from if you want to go into government house. That one, there is an existing governor that was democratically voted. You wait till whenever, if there is ever going to be an election in Nigeria again, if we allow it or if we want it. It's our fault and it's our reasoning. And so, if at this time you're not able to stand up for River State, for your state, for your local government area, for your people, whether by talking, whether by protecting them, whether by whatever way you can help your people, and you refuse to help, you have no other. You should just forever hold your peace. You should just forever hold your peace. So the reality today is that, one, I seriously doubt that the people I have seen protesting on the streets and saying that they put them in isolation, that they have COVID-19, or they are testing them for COVID-19, or they are self-isolating, whatever the case may be. All those things are things that are being put up to make another part of Nigeria look bad and to justify whatever plans they have to use against another state. My people of River State, right now, the most important thing to me today is this information that I am gathering and I'm sharing with you. There is no other thing that is more important to share with you and gather this information. The most important is to continue to pray to God to deliver us, because there is no cure. God is the only cure. So whether people want to laugh, whether people want to cry, that's their business. I'm a born-again Christian. And then you have another set of people somewhere else holding prayer meetings. And yet all churches, mostly all reasonable churches, have accepted to conduct service online. And on this matter, I am not surprised, but I am happy with the pastor of Salvation Ministry, my father in the Lord, David Ibiomi. He was one of the first pastors to accept whatever the government said. And because we're used to doing online broadcasts of our service, it didn't come as a shock to us. We didn't have to do too much changes. We have to adjust so that we can worship and all of that. But at least here is a man of God that is also obeying the government. So tomorrow, let nobody call his name. And his headquarters is in the Niger Delta. His headquarters is in River State. So you can see the responsible people that we are following in Christendom. Now, as far as when you look, there are people who are insisting that there is no COVID-19 and that they won't enter house. Well, you see, they can do that in their state. In Rivers State, they must enter house. Because if Christians cannot go to church because it is the sensible thing to do, then the Muslims also cannot come out in Rivers State and go to mosque. If Christians cannot go to bed, Christians are even not going to church because it is the safest thing to do outside of believing in God and praying to God. It is the safest thing to do. But they also must stay in, because if they don't want to stay in, then they put us at risk. It was the Kano State governor that first declared about 3 weeks ago that he is deporting Almajiris. The same Almajiris that we saw voting 5 years ago and 1 year ago are the same Almajiris that they are sending away. They were the first people. And when the Kano State governor did that, I came on Facebook and I said, if any other governor does that, they will say it's against the Constitution. Of course, the people who believe in the Constitution, who know what Constitution says, are the ones that are saying Wike has no right. Why? If the Kano State governor can send them out, Kaduna State governor, who claims he had COVID-19 and have now recovered from it, even he is shutting. He's not only shutting, he has put all these concrete blocks at his border to stop people from coming in. And then you say that Rivers State does not have any right to stop people from coming in or people from going out. It is the foolishness and recklessness of other people if you are obeying the protocol against COVID-19. If you are not obeying this protocol, I don't care the party you belong to, you don't love Rivers State, you don't love Niger Delta. This thing, America is going to take China on. Germany is going to take China on. Africa must take China on. And I also want to use this opportunity, I've said it before, and I will say it again, and I will say it again, that all the companies, foreign companies that are operating in Rivers State, they must show proper and correct documentation as to how come they are operating in Rivers State. And people that pose a threat to our state and the people of our state and the survival of our state, both in health and otherwise, the government must look at them and they must leave our state if they pose this much threat to us. You cannot, as a human being, condemn what South Africa did. And I was one of the people I've never been to South Africa, and because of their attitude, I won't go to South Africa until they apologize for killing people that helped them in their time of need. If you can condemn South Africa and you don't condemn China and tell all the Chinese people, Chinese people are forging passports, driver's license, visa in South Africa. We saw it on TV. They are forging documents to come into other people's country. So I take it that they forge documents to come into Nigeria, and they are free to move around. And our people, our own people, worship them. You see a Nigerian policeman holding umbrella in one hand, AK-47 in another hand. Who is he covering? A Chinese man. A Chinese man. Look, if we do not use this opportunity to change and insist and make these changes, we will have ourselves to blame. If given the right opportunity and conditions, it is very clear that with people that have the type of mindset that Governor Wike has, and people can say what they like. People can say, I'm supporting Governor Wike. Yes, I'm supporting him. People can say he's paying me. No, he's not paying me. But if that's what you believe, that's your business. I don't care. What I care about is Rivers State. I know what the past was like. I know what we have been through and what we're going through. And I know that it can be better for us. I don't care what political party you belong to. I don't care your feelings for the governor today. If we have a mindset like Governor Wike and me, the way I feel, we can change Rivers State. If Chinese people can come in and are mining gold today now, they are arresting them as if they just saw them this morning. They're mining for gold as if they just saw them this morning, arresting them this morning. As if that's how they knew. It's nonsense. And they are carrying guns. And yet, the same government has disarmed people in their community when they cannot protect those people. You are now disarming them from protecting themselves in the name of criminality. Is there any place where there is no? There are criminals everywhere. Look at these poor 3 people that were kidnapped and killed in Rivers State. When will this stop? Those 4 young men that were killed in broad daylight in a community. Who do we blame? We blame ourselves. We must blame ourselves. The system that we allow to function and operate is what is making this to happen. This one has happened. Is this the first time? Everything that the government does is always about politics. Is this the first time that these heinous crimes have been committed in Rivers State or all over the place? Today now, it has become okay, now that the federal government has waded into it, we want to see how far. Is it only to say I send condolences? These are distractions. As far as I'm concerned, anytime federal government wades into things. Okay, why is federal government not also wading into the things about the dead fish floating all over the Niger Delta now? How is that coming about? People, you don't need to be an environmentalist to know that for fish to be floating dead, it means it has something to do with oil and gas. Because there are pipelines, there are the crisscrossing our creeks, our mangroves, and our swamps. If Wike talks now, they will say he has no right. So, our people, we have to help ourselves. When we see what is right, we must stay with it. We have to change. If we don't want to change any other place, let us change Rivers State. It belongs to all of us. We cannot, because of strangers that in politics, running strange politics, allow Rivers State to be destroyed. We're all the same people, whether you're Ikwere, Ekpeye, Egi, Ijo, whatever you are. As long as you're from Rivers State, you are a Rivers person. And the responsibility is on all of us. Not by political coloration, but by local government and by ethnicity. And so, the Niger Delta self-determination movement is poised. We're just waiting for COVID-19 to pass, because our focus since 2014, when it was created, since that time, the focus, the desire, the aspiration of Niger Delta self-determination movement and our members is self-determination. Self-determination is a right. and we must fight for it, and we must get it. Others are doing it. We don't have to carry gun. We will discuss it, and we will have it our way. We must find ourselves where the oil and gas in Rivers State, if it is going to go into private hands, and which it can, then it must go to Rivers people. The companies that will operate in Rivers State must have Rivers indigenes with them. We must exploit and exploit it. All this talk they are saying oil is finished is a lie. Oil is not finished. And even if it is finished, leave it. Go and look for something else. Go and mine gold. Go and export ginger. Export cattle. And on the issue of shutting down the abattoir in Transamadi, is a welcome decision, because in that place belongs to the government of Rivers State, or the community where that place is, it belongs to them. You cannot come from somewhere, come and be selling cattle there, and wake up one morning and say that place belongs to you. It doesn't belong to you, it belongs to Rivers State. And I also want to use this opportunity to call on our people. This is the time to go into farming. All kinds of farming. Farming of piggery, fishing, cattle rearing, all those things. We have a right to do it. Why can't we eat beef? The only reason why I'm not eating beef anymore is because the beef is coming from outside Rivers State. If the beef is reared in Rivers State by Rivers people, by the state government, or from Delta State, or from Bayelsa State, I will eat it. But you cannot bring cattle, and on the road you're killing my people, destroying our farm, and then say it's because I want to eat beef. Even if it is just a one-woman protest, I'm not eating beef. I won't die. I was reared on fish, not on beef. I prefer fish to beef. I don't even like beef. So, our people, please, first and foremost, the government of Rivers State must work with people that can put the structure for social welfare. This is all about social welfare. Providing for the needy, providing for people that don't have, providing for the jobless, not for people who have jobs, providing for the people that have jobs but cannot work anymore. We can do it. It can be done. How many are we, Seth? It can be done. How many are we? It can be done. We can do it. If every local government, every community puts their names to paper, how many are in your household? How many of you are working? And begin to divide it along those lines. Begin to work with the churches. That was how the missionaries were able to work with us and bring healthcare and education. My appendix was removed in Degema in 1967 in Degema General Hospital. Today, I won't even take Panadol from there. So it can be done. And all we must do is to help ourselves to achieve this thing. It is not only the politicians are few. Sef, how many are they? At National Assembly, how many representation do we have? 3. 3. So it can be done. And at the end of the day, we have to decide what it is that we want. If we don't decide it for ourselves, others will decide it for us. I think that I have shared with you the issue is COVID-19 and what we must do to make sure that we are safe. If it means keeping others out, we must keep them out. If unfortunately we have to go hungry, then we have to go hungry. But the government has to play its part in making sure that it tries as much as it can to provide, if not for all the hungry people, to some. And this is the time to share. This is the time to help other people as well. So at this on this note, I want to say thank you for listening. I hope that within ourselves we should be able to know what is the right thing to do. The first and foremost thing is God. We must be focused on God, because God is as far as if you don't believe anything else, you must believe that since COVID-19 does not have anything, then any cure, then God is the primary cure. We must hold on to him. We must work with ourselves, and we must work with government. And anybody at this time whose focus is to condemn whatever the state governors are doing in their state and in this region, that is Niger Delta region, in these 6 states that make up the Niger Delta region, if your aim is to knock them and to destroy them, you will fail, because at the end of the day, the truth will emerge. I believe very strongly that we will survive this COVID-19 by the grace of God, and we will come out better and stronger. And the people who have always believed the lies will see the truth from this COVID-19, and things will be better and things will be best. And I want to say to Governor Wike, my brother, you are trying. Try more. You're trying. Don't be distracted. You're trying. Because what is happening is evil, but we will overcome it. On that note, I thank you so very much for tuning in. God bless us all. And I will be out here again next Wednesday. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Bye. Thank you. Somebody's watching from Dubai. Thank you.